Consumers beware. In today's economy, the big game in town for a scam artist is to separate you from your money. Here to tell us all how to protect ourselves and make sure we don't become a victim, our Karen Jenkins. And Karen, this hits close to home because you're the expert, but your father was even targeted.
Yes, my father. About 4 weeks ago, he called me, and luckily we were in that situation now where anything that happens, any business, he knows to call me.
Right.
So someone called him and said that his cable had been hacked and that there was a third party using the Wi-Fi and that they needed to find out what was going on, and they needed personal information to be able to figure out what was going on so that the other people couldn't steal his money.
Well, that's a big red flag when someone calls you asking for personal information.
Yes, they did. And what he did, which is I'm so blessed that he did, was call me, and we got on a three-way call and I asked the basic questions. But when the gentleman on the line started asking me to confirm who my father was by giving me 3 different versions of his name, I knew immediately there was something wrong. So I asked him for a number to call him back.
Right.
I called the number back and had someone else that sounded just like him saying that they were representing 3 different companies: AT&T, Time Warner Cable, and Verizon. That doesn't happen.
Right.
So I called Time Warner Cable to report it. They confirmed that it was a hoax, and they actually called that number and found out that it was overseas somewhere.
And you touched on this briefly, but when you get these phone calls, sometimes they can be so high pressured, they make it seem so urgent, but you can always ask them for a number to call them back. You don't have to give any information out immediately.
Exactly, and then know that even when they give you that number, you have the number for every provider that you pay money to. So you use the numbers that you have and call and verify. Are you calling me to say that there's something wrong?
And finally, everybody doesn't have a daughter like you to call, but we need to be a resource, especially for our elders, because they are the ones who are often targeted.
Yes, there was a friend of mine that I used to work with called me and said that there was a lady at an assisted living complex that was called and told that her granddaughter was stranded. They got her out of $3,000. But please be that resource for somebody. Be a backup for somebody else to call so that you can validate for them.
Don't be a victim. For more tips, be sure to like the Women, Wisdom, and Wealth Facebook page or go to krjconsulting.com.